What I want to talk about next is what God has saved us into. What was his purpose in saving us? What is it that he is looking to accomplish through us in our lives? Why is it that he's called us to be born again? Why is it that he's called us to be salt in the earth? What does that look like? What kind of lifestyle are we supposed to take on that would exemplify what his original desire is? I want to make a connection here, ultimately, that Jesus Christ, the Father, the Holy Spirit, are the same yesterday, today, and forever. So what we see in the Gospels and in the New Testament, and what's revealed as to what the Lord has saved us into, we see it present in Israel. God chose this small nation, this small group of people, in the midst of all these different nations, and he chose them because of a covenant that he made with his friend, his servant, years prior, Abraham. And that went on, Abraham to Isaac to Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons, and now we have Israel. And Israel was always meant to be a prophetic picture, a prophetic symbol of how God desires to deal with mankind. And through Israel, as the rest of the earth looked on to how God dealt with Israel, the rest of the earth would be saved and understand and know who Jehovah is. So let's look at why Jehovah saved Israel. Why did he set them free from the Egyptians? Why did he lead them through the desert? Why did he do all the things that he did? And we'll see that there is a connection as to why he saved us from the world and from sin and from the devil. So let's look at Exodus 19. So this is context and background. They have been released out of Egypt. They've gone through the parting of the Red Sea, and they are headed, as it were, to the Promised Land. And so now the Lord has them right where he wants them. He has them alone. He has them out of bondage, out of enslavement, and now he can talk to Moses so that Moses can talk to the people, and the Lord can reveal through the mouth of Moses what his desire is and why he's done all that he's done for this group of people. Exodus 19, verse 3. And Moses went up to God, and the Lord called to him from the mountain, saying, Thus you shall say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel. Verse 4, here it is. You have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I bore you on eagle's wings, and brought you to myself. Stop. Ultimately, God the Father, Jehovah, saves us so that he can bring us to him. It's ultimately about that relationship with your Creator, with your Father. That is why he took Israel out of the hands, out of the chains of the Egyptians, is that he wanted them to himself. Verse 5, Now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, then you shall be a special treasure to me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And here is our emphasis. And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. So once the Lord brings you to himself, once the Lord brought Israel to himself, that relationship was supposed to, I'm getting excited just thinking about it and talking about it. That relationship was meant to produce a lifestyle that other nations would see, that the people in your life, the people in your sphere of influence would see. And what that lifestyle is called is, in verse 6, priests, priesthood. The Lord saved you to bring you to himself, to be in relationship with you, to love you, to provide for you, to be all that you need him to be. And your response to his love is to live a life of priesthood. You shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. Notice he says, you shall be to me. Notice that The nation of Israel were never meant to be priests to the world, but priests to the Lord himself, priests to the Lord who saved them.